What's up, everybody? I hope you're doing good. It's a beautiful day. I hope you're doing great. I'm doing really good today. It's very sunny. Things have changed, from a cold to pure summer. It's just crazy. First, I want to greet you. Thank you very much. I see a lot of you watching us from South Africa. Sanbodani. I greet you from Uganda, Jebaleko, Basebonabanyabo. I greet you from Rwanda, Bite, Burundi, Amakuru, Kenya, Jambo. I salute you from Sudan. I don't know nothing from Sudan yet, but give me some time. Namibia, Somalia, Ethiopia, I see you. Nigeria, thank you very much. Ghana, from all over the place. UK, United States, Jamaica, Sierra Leone, Liberia. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So, before you get started, if you're new here, thank you very much for stopping by. Please feel free to join us. Click on the button, subscribe. It's always a great pleasure to have you. I'm sure you're going to love it, okay? We are the same. We are family, okay? And before you start, let's all do this so we can push our video further, okay? So this is a follow-up on Niger. We spoke about Niger many times. If you haven't watched, I suggest you have a look at these videos to catch up, okay? But we're going to give you very cool, very good context very quickly, okay? Niger is a beautiful country in the center of Africa. Let's say center north, okay? This is the map of Niger for our brothers and sisters who don't know where these things are. This is Niger. This is Africa, okay? So Niger has been through so many things, but I'm going to give you context just now. What's happening right now is Niger people have cut electricity and water from the French embassy, okay? So we're going to read and find out exactly what's happening. I'll give you context just now, okay? Let's go. So on Friday, the foreign ministry announced that the French ambassador Sylvain It had 48 hours to leave, saying he had refused to meet with the new rulers and citing the French government action that were contrary to the interest of Niger. So basically, Niger military authority have asked the French ambassador to come and meet with them to have a discussion. The French ambassador said, no, I am not coming. Okay, and they gave him 48 hours to leave because he refused to go and meet the member of the new government of Niger. Then the French people say Paris rejects the demand and say the putschists do not have the authority to make this request. So they reject the demand of Niger for the French ambassador to leave the country. People of Niger said, Mr. Ambassador Frank, come, we need to talk. Ambassador say, I'm not coming. Then they said to him, you have 48 hours to leave the country. He said, I'm not leaving because you have no authority whatsoever to tell me what to do. You are not democratically elected. So I'm going to choose who has authority in this country that's not mine to tell me if I can leave or stay.
I believe our policy is the correct one. It's based on the courage of President Bazoum, on the efforts of our diplomats and our ambassador in Niger, who will stay despite pressure from coup leaders. We do not recognize them. We support the president, who's not resigned.
So what happened is on Saturday, after the French refused to leave Niger, on Saturday, 20,000 people rallied in the General Seni Kunche Stadium to support country's new military rulers and call for the removal of the French soldiers. You get this? 20,000 people from Niger say, you know what? We are going to the stadium. We're going to unite. We want all French soldiers and all French people to leave our country. So what's happening is that they say France has consistently backed the call of ECOWAS for reinstatement of the President Bazoum. So French people want the ex-president to be brought back. I'm going to give you context very quickly so we can understand. For those of us who are here for the first time. Niger, beautiful country, beautiful people, but very hot. Anyway, Niger was colonized by the French people. And for many years, unfortunately, even though colonialism seemed to have ended in the 1960s, it looks like France still had a lot of hands on to Niger's economy. Basically, France uses Niger uranium to feed its own energy. Up to 30% of France's energy comes from Niger due to the uranium of Niger. But in the meantime, Nigerians themselves have no electricity. Doesn't make any sense. No, it doesn't make sense. So for many years, people of Niger felt like all the presidents in power were working for the interest of the French and not the interest of the people of Niger. And this time they had enough and they said, you know what? We don't want any more of this. We're going to take the head of our country. They removed the president named Bazoum, and now the military, who were actually the presidential guards, have taken the role of the president. So people of Niger revolted because they felt our country is not being looked after by our president. Therefore, we're going to topple this president and place a new president. The new president is part of the military. He was part of the Presidential Defense Force. After doing that, there are 15 countries of West Africa. They call themselves the ECOWAS, 15 different countries that have economic ties. They deal with each other. They work together. These presidents of ECOWAS were not happy that people from Niger toppled the president, and they plan to organize a military action against the new people in Niger, so they can reinstate the ex-president Mohamed Bazoum. Mohamed Bazoum, as per the information we have, is still living in the basement of his palace in the most acceptable conditions, as per the new government. So there has been an hostile rally outside the French embassy. Niger military administration has cut off water and electricity supply to the French embassy in the capital. Yes, we've asked you to leave our country. You don't want to do it because you say we're not legal, we're not legitimate, so we cut off electricity and water. Okay, let's see now. Basically, you cannot attack an embassy because the embassy represents a country. So let's say a French embassy in Niger is still France. That land is considered as France, not as Niger, but it's still in Niger. By saying we're not leaving, we are daring you to do whatever you can do. People of Niger cannot attack the embassy because by attacking embassy of French, it's like a declaration of war against France. It's like attacking a territory of France. So the best way to deal with these people who refuse to leave, they cut off electricity because electricity supply comes from the government's society, the government enterprises and businesses. The water supply clearly comes from the government. So we have the right to cut electricity and water. So Niger military administration has cut off the water and electricity to the French embassy in the capital, Niamey, with no food delivery allowed. No food delivery. The food comes from Niger. So Niger has the right to say, we're not delivering any food to you because you refuse to live by the rule. The country leadership has also taken similar action at the French consulate in Zinda. The president of the CNPS, Haid Issa Assoumi Borera, has asked all partners of the French bases in Niger to suspend all water and electricity supplies and food products, said the report. So the suspending all water, electricity and food supply to all French entities in Niger. In addition, any partners who continue to supply the French in the process of supplying goods and services will be considered enemies of the sovereign people. So Nigerians have said, if you try to go supply the French with the needs that they have, you're going to be considered as enemies. Why? Because they refuse to obey by the rule. So that's it, basically, fellas. The France of today is not the French of many years ago. They did a lot of things in Africa. They took out about 500,000 to 1.5 million people in Nigeria. Yeah, unfortunately, because they wanted the land, they wanted Africa, they wanted to be part of Africa. These things are coming back. Look, you can do as much wrong as you like because you think you're strong. The time will come, it's going to come back. You can try erase the traces of it, you can try delete it. But trust me, the time will come, people will wake up and they will remind you of the things you've done in the past. And this is exactly what's happening with regard to France. And by talking about France, we're not talking about the French people. We're talking about the elite of France because the normal French people are just like human beings like you and I. They have no decisions. It's the bosses. It's the people up there, the hegemony, the rich people, the billionaires. Those are the people that try to force themselves into other countries. Now, people of Niger are not backing down. ECOWAS have tried so many times, so hard, intimidation and all forms of things to try and intimidate these people. It has not worked because people of Niger have received support from Mali and Burkina Faso. And such thing has never happened before. You can intimidate somebody because you think they're weak, but not very often that person gets support from another person in your same background who's willing to defend them. So props to people of Burkina Faso and Mali for coming in, for saying whoever tries to attack Niger will be declaring war against Mali and Burkina Faso. Now the issue here is this. French people still have 1,500 troops in Niger. These are commandos, these are very strong, well-equipped military. I don't know why they're there, but clearly, if anything brutal had to happen to the embassy physically, these fighters will fight, and it's going to be not nice. I hope they take the right decisions. I hope the French people decide to live by the rules, to obey the government in a foreign country, because I can just imagine how would the French government behave had they called an African country's ambassador to come into the government and discuss. And this person said, no, I'm not interested. You're not legitimate. You need to treat people the way you want to be treated. Thank you very much, fellas. You let me know how you feel about this. Is this a good move that Niger has done by cutting electricity and food supply and water from the French embassy in Niamey? Is this the right way to make yourself listen if people don't want to take you seriously? Let me know how you feel about this. It's always a great pleasure. God bless.